all obstacles, all your illusions, and all the conclusions to two ways to change, to be happy, to change the situation, to change the mindset towards it. So do it and decide this for the life you want to live, for the person you want to love, for this to be the better person you could be, for the one you could be stronger, for the kind of compassion that can be decided in your breath in, breathing out and deciding whether or not those words are said too much or not enough. You walk by me with your friend, I couldn't feel the pity within your stare, but don't do that. Don't you look at what you have for home and call it a weak one. Now for they're only afraid of it. It's better to feel that pain for nothing at all, but who made that for this way? Don't they still matter? I just want to be loved, be held, to be meant, to be whole. It's harder to stare at her because she isn't a distant girl who smiles at me anymore. She's become more than that, for more than I expected to become, for more than I was looking for her to become. It's harder to stare at her because she knows she's starting to love me, and I'm starting to. Don't care for who she's done, for what she's done, for she's done it with, and I don't care for the weather with the demons and being inside of the closet, for the caring about what she makes me feel to make me feel strong enough to call me and warm and true. Today being one of those sort of days where the sun only comes up to humiliate you. And you can't save people, you can only love them. I don't want to be born that one day, for we die for that one day, when we can change in one day, when we can all fall in love in one day, for anything can happen in just that one day, for the books that can change your world, for the guessing that everybody can understand. So don't cross those oceans for the people who wouldn't cross a puddle for you. It was never for the worthless, since at the same time, the mental health comes before that, for the school always, and it's midnight, for you have an exam the next day, for your hands will be shaking for the past hour and a half. I'm sure you want to be alive anymore, for this will be afterwards and going to bed. Taking care of yourself at the end of the day, for always come before that test and score, for the hell with anyone else to tell you different. You finish the day to be done with, and be done with the good, and this is to be the blunder for the absurdity, for the breath inside, and you forget them as long as you can, for tomorrow's a new day, because they don't think it's weird enough for it to be the year. The regular day, they confess and lie. Looking at the stars makes me dream. Sometimes you do these things to yourself because you're thinking, because you're feeling too much, and you can't always control the things you do when you're feeling like that. I think it's brave to be happy, but one glimpse of the paradise on the earth is just to fight for the losing cause and not to lose it. You are what you do and what you say you'll do. I admire those people who choose to shine, and even though the storms and they may be going, pressing through, for the whole how silly I could be, for never believing in someone like I can fall in love with like me. How I love myself is how I teach others to love. And I can go anywhere. There's a crack in everything, and that's how light gets in. I smile bigger and live longer. I miss you, but I'm trying not to care anymore. All those selfish years, enough to make the right decisions and enough to make the wrong ones, and the selfish enough for the time for the travel, for you to be falling in and out of love, for this ridiculous enough to be silly, for the stupid and wild enough that I can wonder for the weather, the people you can find less. See inside me and heal myself first, for the rest of the world to come later. But never have I been so calm as the blue sea, for there's always been a storm. And I knew it was bad when I woke up in the morning, but I always looked at the forward. I was going back. It's not funny, who never cared about you at all, for the sudden things you can judge and tell you what you do when something is doing wrong in their eyes. And I'm not for the working in art, not for everyone to understand that, but I know what to do, for I never forgetting about the crave that side of you that don't show to someone else. Whatever it is, good for the soul, for the do that, for this, know it, that's scary, for the also what it is to look back on the 20 years of regret, for doing the same things you dreamed about it, for the feeling scared enough of the failure, for the people always opinion is strange. Be patient, my heart is heavy. I'm enjoying life now, this is not a rehearsal, this simplicity, for the patience and compassion, these are the greatest treasures, the simple actions and the thoughts returning to the source of being patient with both friends and enemies in the core, for one things they are, for the compassion towards yourself, for the reconciliation of being you not wanting me. It's the beginning of me wanting myself. Thank you. Said her.
Will there be a God tonight? Will there be a God tonight? That man in the wilderness. That man is the richest who pleasures all the cheapest. Is there a God tonight up in the skies with you?
Will there be a God tonight? That man in the wilderness. That man is the richest who pleasures all the cheapest. Is there a God tonight up in the skies or just empty, just like me? We live in a blue planet that circles around a ball of fire for the next to the moon moves the sea. And you don't believe in miracles. I tried everything. I smoked, drank, drove. Anything to make my heart feel the way it did when it beat next to yours. I want the deeper connections with the people all around me, and I need to reach out more because everyone leaves, and sometimes if you reach out for the person right next to you, will be right there waiting. To be stubborn about your goals and flexible about your methods and inspiration, you can find that forever deciding upon you for the understanding of how much you took of me. I'm the type to give you endless chances and always have you back when you are wrong, and you truly accept for who you are for when the rest of the world doesn't want you. I will. I did. So if I gave up on you, understand it took everything I had left inside of me to leave you, because I love you and care about you, and there isn't anything on the planet I wouldn't do. It isn't easy for someone to joke about the scars if they've never been cut. Make it happen, shock everyone, and if you love me, you won't let me know. When we met someone and fall in love, we met the sense of the whole universe on our side, and this is definitely someone goes wrong, so there's nothing left and I should possibly leave you. Who's to find out if there was only 1 minute left to vanish and this move quickly enough and move from very fast and rushing from heaven to hell within a matter of seconds. Soon when all is well, for the going to look back into the period of life, just be so glad you never gave up. The most calming things I ever read. The feelings that come back, the feelings that never left. Stuck between I don't want to feel the type of hurt again, but I want to feel that type of love again. And when you want something you never had, you have to do something you never done. To be beautiful means to be yourself and not to be needing yourself but about others who you need yourself, you know, and how the person reacts to your sadness and how they're out their love. It says a lot about how long you're going to be in life. She was beautiful, but not like those girls in the magazine. She was beautiful for the way she thought she was beautiful, for the sparkle in her eyes when she talked about something that she loved. She was beautiful for the ability to make other people smile, but if she said no, she wasn't beautiful for something temporary as it looks. The beauty deep down to the soul. For the work of art, you don't need some asshole art dealer for telling your worth because you know your value. You're priceless, and I just want to see that for yourself, and that's all. That happiness is a choice that requires the effort for the times. The soul made for the purpose to shake you up in your tear, for the tear for your ego, for the letting you a little bit, for the showing your obstacles and addictions. Break your heart open so the new light can get in. Make you so desperate out of control that you have to transform your life. After all, we had to act like we never met. If I could know this heart, everything would become easy. And the quickest way to get someone's attention to knowing or want it. I obviously do everything to be hard to understand myself. I choose to love you in the silence because in the silence I find no rejection. In the silence no one owns you but me. Nothing builds self-esteem and self-confidence like the accomplishments. Being challenged in life and inevitable, and being defeated is optional. And on the afternoon we sat for the room for never meant for nothing for the living on for the earth. There's more work for the living on the earth than you can find to really wonder how you could drop those ideas because it seems so absurd. Impossible to carry out, yet I keep them. Because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at the heart. Not to think about what happened in a month and not to think about what happened in a year. Just focus on the 24 hours in front of me for this to be I can get closer to where I want to be. The faith and fear both demand that for believing in something you cannot see and choose. You don't get to choose if you want the hurt in the world, but you have something to say for who hurts you, and I like my choices. I'll repeat that, you don't get to choose if you get the hurt in the world, but if you do have some say so in who hurts you, I like my choice, and who has that for who can today, for breathing in and out, but it's okay to do your best for now. To hell with the rest. past days.
looking
Looking up at the past days and finding the same as the future. You had me wishing we were something, but left me here like a whole lot of nothing. Battling the heart versus the mind, for the heart takes too long to figure out what the mind already knows, and I hate that. People ask me why it's so hard for me to trust people, for the asking why it's so hard to keep a promise. And I wouldn't understand if you came back different, but there's a lot to lose, and you can find out there for the more than you ever know. Not to wait for the approval of everything, but understand your vision. You just need to believe in yourself and remain positive to get it done. There's no remedy for my broken heart. Only the medicine that could save it was the poison that killed you. People, endless noise, and I'm so tired, and I wouldn't sleep under the trees and red ones and blue ones and swirling with the passion. And every day I can try to look my best, but even though inside I'm such a mess, and this would be the people I love. Just as difficult to sometimes believe that and see it. And when you don't love yourself, what it doesn't mean for that nobody loves you, do they? I do. Or maybe they promise that they do. Something to remember when you're alone. And the world feels like it's collapsing around you, and heal yourself, and you can find the rest of where you come later. Life, I guess, is too short to worry, for I be a wishing star for the still searching for the crowds and the empty fields and the soaring clouds, and I'm in the city lights and the passing cars and the winding roads and the wishing stars, and I wonder where you could be now for the years, and I see your name out loud for just a longer since I can call you mine. Time has passed, and I for you and I, but I have learned to live without you. And I don't mind, I still love you anyways. And I'll take a moment to breathe and notice that you are okay for the you have survived, and you have made it okay for the just to go in and make it for the you are alive, and you are the breathing, and you're the heart for the beating, and you exist, and you are strong enough, and you have survived. And I notice something about the people who make a difference in the world. They hold the unshakable conviction that individuals are extremely important and every life matters, and they get excited over one smile, for they're willing to feed one stomach, for they educate one mind, for they treat one wound, for they aren't determined to revolutionize the world all at once, and they're satisfied with the small changes. Over time, though, small changes add up, and sometimes they even transform the cities and nations, and yes, the world. So when did that future switch from being a promise to being a threat? I found that the growing up means to being honest in what I want, for the what I need, for the what I feel, for who I am. Who were you before they broke your heart? Never regret the day in my life, for the good days to give happiness and bad days give experience, and worse to give the lessons and best days to give the memories. The most painful thing is to losing yourself, for the process of losing yourself, and someone to lose so much, and for the giving of who you are special too. I want to be the nice person to get it, for the if you want to become a lawyer to study your ass off. And if you want nice hair, to pick a style to get it done, for the stop being afraid, for the motivating yourself, for the finding yourself, and the finding your happiness because it's out there waiting for you, and surrounding yourself with the people who help you look at the world different. The best way out is always through. To think is brave, do not to try to be happy. Silence is that pure, it draws people together for the only the time that those who find it comfortable for enough to be each without the sit for the without speaking. Anyone who cares without that for the habit to realize you need a little for the looking after, for the nothing else really matters anyway until you make the peace of who you are. You'll never be content with what you have. Words are only never words, and only they matter because they define the contours of what you could do. But at some point you have to stop being so angry, and you have to stop being so sad, and you have to stop killing yourself and to start being gentle with yourself. At some point you have to just let it all go and be happy. Have to spread love instead of being afraid of it, and you never love to love yourself and because everyone around you, and before it's too late, don't waste away for the being unhappy for the trivial things, and don't do it. And don't do it to yourself, and don't let other people do it to you. Learn from those mistakes and others, and you can never live long enough to make them all yourself. And I have a few bad days and never get a bad life, and as long as I try to keep a positive mind, it's not what you look at for the matters of what you see. And the greatest thing to work the world is what you know for the how long you become oneself, and this the winner whenever have to leave for the not to continue with the watering a dead flower. You're only that for the teenager. You are not married enough to go with the flow and laugh at your tongue for the matter for this to be something you can find. Will you just kiss her? Trust your feelings and spend your cash. Introduce yourself and take a chance to study hard for the seeking of happiness and regret nothing, but don't laugh at the people's dreams and make a wish on the 11/11 to change that synchronicity to take a picture to appreciate the memories, and you should make the time to dance in your underwear. Underwear, under here, under there, for the plain dress up, but then taking your clothes off and having the time of your life. Repeat this until you don't understand it, but the do